Welcome to another episode of Inspired Voices. I'm Oliver Riera, and this is Marcus Anderson.
Hey.
All right. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about what you do and who you've worked with?
All right. A little bit about who I am. Well, my name is Marcus. I play saxophone, flute. I also dance. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer. But I've worked with a couple of different artists, Anthony Hamilton, Sheila E, Ceelo Green, and the late Prince. So, yeah, so.
Nice. Very cool,
so
man.
paraphrasing a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just right there.
Yeah.
That's cool. What kind of dance do you do?
Mainly like hip hop.
Hip hop?
Yeah,
Okay.
hip hop, liquid dancing, popping and
For
locking.
some reason, I could see you like break dancing or some shit.
Well, I used to. If I try to break dance, I might break something. I just like now. I'm more of a. It's more like in my show now. It's choreographed stuff. And when I was in high school and college, all I did was break dancing on the floor. Popping and locking, challenging. Beating people. Yeah. I was winning too. I was like,
nice.
I was a force to be reckoned with. Not just saying it because it was me, but I was like, I was a beast back then.
Right.
Beast
mode.
Yeah. I'm still good now, but it's kind of, it's here and there.
Right.
I challenged, actually I didn't challenge anybody. I was in London and I was on tour with Ceelo. We were touring around and we did, went to this club to hang afterwards, and it was these guys out on the floor dancing, and I'm kind of like over in the corner, kind of just like doing my thing and minding my own business. It was for them. They saw me, and they came over and like challenged me. And then Ceelo didn't know I could dance, so I was like, y'all. I said, I don't want no beef. Like y'all, I don't know if y'all want to go down this road.
Right.
And they were just like, they were kind of going at it, and I said, okay. So I took all four of them, and it was
nice.
I surprised myself.
Nice.
So, and then like Ceelo was like, Marco. You killed him, man. You killed him, man. You what? I didn't know you could do that. I was like, yeah, man. He said, you had all four of them. They was trying to get you, and you came back. And I said, yeah, man. I said, I haven't put out a lot of those moves in a long time.
Right.
And, man, I was hurting, like, the next couple of days.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I didn't stretch. I'm 33 now. Like, this was, back in the day when I was, like, in my early 20s. Like, I didn't need to stretch to dance. I was like, what? Let's go now.
Yeah, that's true. That muscle memory came in, though.
Yeah, it did, man. Because I got a thing, like, when I see other people dance, it's like I take it and I can do the same move and flip it and, like, kind of make it my own.
Yeah.
Which is the same way with music. I hear songs and I hear music and I take it.
That's like paying attention to the details of everything.
Yeah.
In order to switch it up and make it your own.
Oh, yeah. That's why I like hearing new music, because when I hear new music, it's like, oh, I like what they did on that. But I kind of take it and then I write my own arrangement to something somebody else did. Then, like, you would never know, like, oh, you got that from what? And, like, you can't tell. But it's like it inspires me to go somewhere else,
Yeah. Awesome, man. Very cool. Let's take it back.
Okay.
So where are you from?
I'm from South Carolina, Spartanburg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. Is that a small town or is that a big town?
Kind of small. Like, it's not
Just a regular middle class town.
Yeah. It's really, really nice, really simple. Kind of reminds me of Durham, but just a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How was it growing up there?
I loved it.
Was it tough for you, or was it just like it was all through your childhood you lived there?
Yeah, all through my childhood, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I'm a small town guy.
Okay.
I travel to a lot of big cities, but small town is where my heart is.
Yeah.
I'm not a city guy. I'll go for a couple of days, but then after that, I'm ready to take it back home to a simple, non-traffic city.
Right. Yeah. There's something about small towns, man, that just like I don't know. It's just like a feeling, a vibe.
When I go to Carborough, I love it. Pittsburgh, I love, like, those places. They just, I don't know. I love the simplistic side of, like, their living. There's like one coffee shop that's not Starbucks. There's a couple other places that are really cool and quaint, and everybody knows everybody.
Right.
But nobody knows me, so I can just go in and say, hey. I can listen to music, enjoy a meal, and be okay.
Be at peace.
Yeah. I like that. Like, I love peace. I love quietness. That's why I loved home. I came from that, place of, like, I don't want to say nothing, but it wasn't a whole lot. It was simple. Life is simple.
Right. Yeah. So, do you have any siblings or anything?
I do. I'm the youngest of 7.
7? Mm-hmm. Wow. You're like Matt over here. What do you have? You have 7 sisters, right?
I got 6 sisters.
6 sisters.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Wow.
I'm next to the youngest.
Yeah, I'm the youngest, man.
How was that? Like, was that like just torture, or did they like give you a hard time?
Nah, we did tease each other.
Yeah.
Like, we lock each other in the closet, or put somebody in a suitcase and like sit on it. Back when they had like the wooden suitcase,
Yeah,
like, hey, just get
the
in.
hard ones.
Yeah. I'm not gonna close. I'm not gonna lock it, and then they get in, and they lock it. So I mean, there was a lot of
push
that.
you down the stairs while you were in there, buddy.
No. We didn't have stairs,
Okay.
man. Yeah. We didn't have that much money to build stairs.
Right.
We had a split level. You had one step. Yeah, one step. That was it. But no, we got a good childhood growing up, and we played pranks on each other, and we did stuff, and like brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
They
Normal
fight.
stuff.
Yeah, normal stuff. Fight, argue, love. But it was 7 of us, so I think it was a blessing that we had so many within our family because it had caused us to focus on each other, and my dad was very strict on us not going out into the streets and doing other stuff. If we needed to play, we need to play with each other and play in our yard. We have like 5 acres of land, so
oh wow,
so
that's a lot.
Yeah. It was like trees, creek, wilderness, stuff like that. If we got bored, build stuff, go play in the woods, but don't go up the street and get in trouble.
Yeah.
So
that means you guys had to be creative then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that where where the creativity started?
I think so. Like I was forced to. Like I have still a very vivid imagination. I'm very creative when it comes to not just music, but like seeing ideas and visions of like what I think should go where in like art or maybe like in graphics or video.
Yeah.
I could at least start the idea and say, hey, this is where I'm going. I can't finish it because my focus and talent isn't in that, but it's in music.
Yeah.
But, that a lot of the growing up, being able to play by myself and create off of that has helped me in music and entertainment.
Very cool.
Yeah.
When did you start playing? Like, what was your first instrument?
Recorder. I was playing in 5th grade. Yeah. I didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
how'd you get introduced to that? Was it just like one of the instruments they had at school?
Yeah. My brother, I have a twin. So he was in, they called it Visions back then, Music Visions. And, they give you a recorder, you play, and it was one of those things. And I really, really wanted to be in it, but I wasn't in it the first year, he was. And the second year.
All I want to do is play the recorder, man.
So I played the recorder and I didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
I just, I wasn't reading, I was playing by ear. And then I got to, I don't know, my dad just saw something in me. He told me I was going to play the saxophone and be great and travel around the world. And then he put the saxophone in my hand. I was like 12 3/4 or closer to 13.
Yeah.
And when I started playing, and whenever I played, that's all I knew is that I was going to do music. I was going to play the saxophone. I knew nothing else, that I was going to play the saxophone and be successful at it.
Yeah. That's very cool, man.
Yeah. I mean, words are powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he told you that at a young age.
He told me hey, you're going to play the saxophone. You're going to be great. You're going to travel the world.
What does he think of now? Have you told him that story about what he told you?
Yeah. He somewhat remembers, but he does remember making ways for me to get a saxophone. I do remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he was very adamant of me playing the saxophone.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I mean,
it paid off, right?
Yeah, it did, and it's just, I always wonder, what did he see and how did he see it? Because I have 2 daughters. So, and I see things in them, and I want them to be able to take, what I say, hey, you should do this. But I don't want it to seem like I'm forcing them to do it. I want them to want to do it and take it up.
Yeah.
Just like my dad told me, oh, you're going to play the saxophone and be great. I want to, my daughter, I see you got talent in music. And say, I see you doing this, and then they take it up, because I don't want to force them in music just because I'm in music.
Right.
I want them to follow their hearts and their dreams. But
whatever they want to do. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What kind of music did you start playing when you did the saxophone? Play the saxophone?
Man, whatever. I grew up playing. I grew up listening to Motown and Michael Jackson, and
Got
James
that funk
Brown.
fever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prince. Actually Prince. He came in a little bit later, but definitely James Brown, Jackie Wilson. A lot of that stuff, and Motown, anything Motown.
Yeah, Motown, man.
Yeah.
Gotta love Motown.
Oh man, I got to. So yeah, it was a lot of that, man. It was a lot of just soul music. Yeah. And then later on, throughout middle school and high school, I got introduced to other music, because I started playing in church. So
Gotcha.
I got the feeling from, being in church and like that whole spiritual connect, being able to connect with the music and people that came from church. But that was on the black gospel side. But then I got introduced to play at this church that was more focused on like white gospel Christian, which was great because it got me to play in different keys and not just like, we say like in the black keys, E flat, F sharp, A flat, B flat. Like now I got to play in the white keys, no pun intended, but but like E, G, C,
the major chords. And
it was a lot of that, and I was like, man, this is cool, and it was opening my ear to listen to different things. So once I did that, I started checking out, John Mayer, Kareem Bailey Ray, people like that. And
that's interesting, man, because like a lot of people focus on like the white keys, I guess you could say, first, and then they go into the gospel. A lot of people tend to go that route. So you went the other way. Did you find it easier to, like, when you transitioned and started learning those white keys? Was it easy for you?
No, it wasn't actually, because on saxophone, it was easier for me to play in those black keys because they felt natural. To me, because that's what I've been hearing all my life. But to hear, something else in the key that's close to it, but not right on it. Yeah. It was like, wow, I feel like I'm close to it, but I'm not quite there. So, that I think was designed by God to expand me more, to give me two sides of the worlds. My black world and my white world. And I hate to use color, but that's kind of like where it was. It was,
right
where I grew up in church, and then where I learned there's other sides of church and people, which is great because it helped me to understand, different dynamics of like different people I'm going to deal with in life.
Right.
So, I mean,
it's just those different cultures, man.
Different cultures. It was a great start, a great springboard to where I was going to be going next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I realized that my dad played for black churches back when I was young. And just the vibe, I would go and see him perform. It's just completely different from, I guess, white churches. Not to, bring race into that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it's not race, but I mean, like the world, the world sees, black and white and color, but the thing about music and the beautiful thing about music that it surpasses all of that, and it breaks beyond barriers. Music, you don't have to speak English to know a song in English.
Yeah.
And I learned that when, Michael Jackson, I used to watch his videos and I see, different people, Asian, black, African.
I learned English from Michael Jackson and Sesame Street.
See? You know what I mean? And it's like, wow, people, they've learned certain things just from Michael, or just from music.
Yeah.
And that's just the beautiful thing about music, man. It just breaks barriers, man.
Right.
It's incredible.
That's cool, man. So when did you start creating your own music?
I tried when I was younger.
Yeah. Because like I played piano for like 7 years when I was young, but I trained with someone that only trained me in classical music, and then I got bored because I got so I could play Fur-Elise, like Beethoven shit, like fast as hell, and it was easy for me.
Yeah.
So, but I never asked or thought about switching genres or anything like that, or making up my own music in that fact.
Yeah. I remember like trying to write songs. And it never really like came to me the way that I wanted. It was I didn't know how to write music, because I loved what everybody else was doing, and I still do love what everybody else is doing when it comes to music. But then it wasn't until I came home from college, I think it was my freshman year, second semester, and I went to go play at this church, and this preacher turned to me, and he said, when you get in your car and you drive back, don't turn on the radio, just drive all the way back, and you're going to start hearing songs. You're going to hear a ton of songs, and it's just like you're going to hear so many, you're not going to be able to know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So I got in the car, I didn't listen to the radio, and I rode all the way back. At first I was like, oh, the radio's on, let me turn the radio off. So I rode all the way from home, back home. Yeah. And I'm just waiting for these songs to start coming, and they never did. But like one day I was riding again, and then like the radio wasn't on, and then like I just started like humming like these melodies. I didn't realize what I was doing until like, oh, I'm writing music.
Yeah.
So I started recording voice notes in my phone. So I think that first day when he told me to ride back with no music on, I think that was the seed planting, like to see if I was faithful enough to do that. And I think because I was faithful enough to not listen to music, that planted the seed that started growing music inside of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because now it's the same thing still. If I turn off the radio, I still hear music.
Yeah.
You know,
and that first time, it seemed like you were probably just thinking about it too much.
I was, yeah.
And you didn't let it come naturally and stuff
Right.
like that, and organically.
Yeah.
That's cool though, man. Yeah. What's your favorite type of music?
I love country music.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
I do. I love the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah.
You know, like I know that's like super random.
Yeah.
But you know,
you know how to dance like it too?
Like country? Yeah. No, I mean not really. You know, but I like.
You gotta get on top of that, man. If you're a dancer.
I know, man. I know. They may ask me to dance with them one day. I don't know. But I love the Dixie Chicks, man. I love their songs.
Yeah.
You know, Natalie, she's just a great. You know, she's the lead singer for them. You know, and like I love her, like her voice. I love her cute little face. You know, I love the way like she has so much passion in her voice, and there's a lot of heart in what she's singing. It kind of reminds me a lot of like Dolly Parton. You know,
I never thought about that.
The way like she has that shake that some country singers have, and Dolly Parton has like that same thing too. That when you hear it, it's very signature.
Yeah,
and I think that's why I like her so much, because I'm a fan of Dolly Parton, because Dolly Parton has this great song called Heartbreaker. Yeah. And there's such emotion in it. And I hear that same thing when Natalie sings. You know, but I like you know, Shania Twain, you know, I like Rascal Flatts, you know, I love Eli Young Band.
Cool.
A couple of so many others, man. I can't even name them all. You know, Hank Williams, you know, and that's like way back country. But man, it's just the stories within the music.
Yeah, it's this. Is it the stories that really connects you with the music?
It's the stories, and the music's really good too. Yeah, you know, it kind of reminds me a lot of like I come from soul music, so that's a given. I'm already gonna love that. But something about country music that's just like it keeps pulling me and tugging me towards it. Yeah, you know, I really like it. So I started recording like a lot of country songs. Yeah, I was working on some stuff before I got here, and then yesterday. Yeah, but I was doing a remake of a Dixie Chick song. Cowboy Take Me Away. It's a good song.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's cool. I wonder about that with musicians when they get to a certain level. Do they start to kind of like mix the genres together? You know, take country and put in some R&B or whatever it is, or jazz or something, mix it in and stuff like that. Yeah,
I mean, I think the best do, you know, meshing and like cross-pollinating. What one of my colleagues always says, but they always. It's always good when you take different genres and put them together, because that's what they've done with a lot of music, you know, with jazz, you know, Cuban, Afro-Cuban, you know, classical music, taking bits and pieces of it and then bringing it into the world of jazz and music and soul and R&B. Everybody's borrowed. It's all started from somewhere. Right. You know, and it's all just kind of like over the period of the years, just... You know, you can always, like, when you hear a Latin beat within a song, you know, automatically, okay, I hear the Latin influence in it, you know, and then when you hear, you know...
Like punk music, you know, comes from, jazz and I forgot something else, but yeah, I mean, it just evolves over time and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it definitely does, man. It's just, everything is a mesh, and I think it's great. You know, I really think it's great, too. And I like, you know, separating it and dissecting the song and then putting it back together, almost like
like an engineer.
Yeah, like an engineer. Yeah, like I literally just saw like parts like going apart and then coming back together. But yeah, man,
that's the producer side of you too.
Yeah, there's levels, you know, to it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and everything. It's layering to me, you know, with music. I love layering, and I just recently got into like heavy into like sampling and like chopping up and splicing different things. Yeah. So. I never was like super duper into like sampling before, but now I see why people did it before. Yeah. And like it's very intriguing. I like it because now like I'm working on music and it's something different than musicians just playing it. And now just taking a sample and then creating this whole other idea, but with a drum beat and with a guitar rhythm or like
with something just so simple.
Yeah, you know, and I like it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Yeah. You know. Yeah. But yeah.
It gives you more creativity and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. I'm just looking for new area, new blue ocean, so to speak. Yeah. You know, to travel musically to the uncharted places. Yeah. Or places that I've never been. You know, other people probably have been there, but I haven't. Right. You know, so
that's cool, man. So, were you in bands growing up? Yeah. So when was your first band?
I was in 6th grade. Nice. Band director.
Same here.
Nice. Andy Entrican. Mr. E is what we called him.
Yeah.
Because I think his last name was so hard to say, so everybody just ended up saying Mr. E.
I gotcha. What kind of music was that?
Man, it was just marching band stuff, man, concert band, all that stuff. And then we had a jazz ensemble. And then that was my first year like playing saxophone, and I remember when I got the saxophone and I was trying to play, certain songs, and then I got this Nige album, Songs in the Key of Life, Stevie Wonder tribute. And I put it in, and like it was a song that I listened to by ear, and I started playing it. And like we had only learned like 5 or 6 notes.
Right.
And I put the record in, and I said, "Hey, Mr. E, check this out." And then the song started playing, and then I started playing along with him, with the sax player, Najee.
Yeah.
And he was blown away. He said, "How did you do that?" He said, "Who taught you that?" I said, "I taught myself." He's like, "What do you mean you taught yourself?" I heard the notes and I figured it out. And he was like, "But how did you know how to do it?" I was like, "I don't know. I just heard it and I did it."
Yeah.
And then he put me in front of the school, and he's like, "Can I put you, like, we got to show everybody this." And then like
a little talent show or something?
Yeah, it was like the first year, we hadn't even learned all the notes, but somehow I was able to play and learn this song.
Nice,
and I
dude.
wish I could find this video. I don't know where it is now.
Yeah.
It's probably lost forever because my folks just had a fire, so all those tapes are gone now. But I gotta try to find like if there's like a lost tape or something like that of some of those performances.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I've always learned by ear. I could do notes, obviously, but ear was where it's at.
Yeah,
for me.
ear is
It was
definitely
easy for
where.
me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, ear. I mean, you can't beat like what your ear is telling you, but it's good to have like a further education in it too.
Yeah.
And then I went to college up the street at North Carolina Central University, and I got to study with Dr. Wiggins and Branford Marcellus.
Nice.
Yeah, and Brian Horton.
Cool.
I got to study with them, and that's where I worked on.
You really got technical
reading.
with the reading.
The theory. Doubling on flute and stuff like that. That all started there because I always loved the flute. I always wanted to play flute.
Right. Is that when you started playing the flute? Was in college?
Yeah. I mean, then I put it down for a little bit because I'm like, I just feel like I felt like I wasn't good enough, and I said, no, let me pick it back. Excuse me, let me pick it back up. So I did.
What about the flute? Like, do you like about it?
I love the sound of it, the tone, like the texture. It just feels, like soft and haunting and beautiful all at the same time.
Yeah. Huh. Never heard it put it like that.
Yeah, it's just
that's cool.
Yeah, man, it's very very beautiful.
Yeah,
the sound.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
So you went through college. How many bands were you in? Like outside of school, you know what I mean?
Man, you ever heard of ska music?
Yeah,
I was in a ska.
I used to play in ska bands.
Yeah, I was in a ska band. Like, I think I was probably the only sax player in history to play in a ska band. But I was in a ska band back home. I don't remember the guys' names, but
that's cool, man.
It was just like
ska music, man. It's like that energy.
It's like energy, and like I just come and like set up and play, with them, and it was all for fun. It wasn't, for money or anything like that. And they would just play, and man, it was something.
Yeah.
And then I played in like another band. We did more like jazz fusion stuff.
Nice.
And
that's cool.
And these are like all outside of school too. And then I started, working with like other artists too, other jazz artists and different bands, and probably like 6 or 7 different bands throughout my career outside of like school.
Yeah. I always loved playing in ska bands because like I play bass, and so like bass and ska, like riding the bass and up and down. Man. So it's fun, man.
Me trying to figure out where to play in this music was interesting.
Yeah, because you went from ska, jazz, to, you went gospel at one point.
Yeah, gospel, Christian music.
I think it's good though. You got a variety.
Yeah, man.
It keeps your mind like up and up and up.
I think the more you expose to, the better. You know, I wish I was exposed to so much more earlier on. Because I think I've had a great education in music, but I always think, man, if I had it earlier, where would I be now? But
yeah, that's true.
I probably wouldn't be where I am now.
Yeah,
had I had those steps, because I don't know, maybe I would have overthought something, and
right.
It's so many ways we can think about, like, oh, if I had done this, I could have been here, could have been there,
or like if you were shy or confident, that could have been the difference right there too.
Yeah.
Were you shy as a kid?
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same here.
I still am. Like I don't.
Naturally an introvert.
Yeah, I am. People don't. They like, oh, he's standoffish, and it's like that's not really it. I'm a shy, quiet person. I watch people. My interactions with people are weird.
Sounds like Matt over here.
It's weird to me, but because of my career, my profession, it's allowed me to be able to step out of my shell and learn how to interact with people throughout the years. But if I don't know you, it's hard for me to like interact with you. Like it's like I have to warm up to be familiar with you. You know what I mean? But
I mean, I got to the point where, like, I was so quiet, and I got to my lowest when like someone randomly would just say something. It's like, "Oh, I thought you looked like that," and I was like,
oh wow,
it was bad, man.
Oh wow.
And so I got sick of it at one day, like when I was 24. I'm 32 now.
Okay.
And so I got sick of it, and then I decided to change my life, and that's when I had to learn how to communicate with people. And so ever since then, I've just been, I know when to switch it on. Switch on my extrovert side, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's a switch you turn on.
Yeah.
But I spoke earlier about going to these small towns where like somebody doesn't know you,
right.
And then you can kind of like just kind of be to yourself and to your thoughts. And I don't know, like I like the interaction with people, but I like it when it's with people I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it like this, but sometimes when I travel, I have my headphones in, just so people don't talk to me. I know that sounds bad, but it's, it's
I've done that before.
There's no music playing, but it's like I'm shy and I'm closed off.
Yeah.
Because I'm in my thoughts. I'm thinking about stuff.
Yeah.
And then and if I don't want to seem like a jerk or anything like that when it comes to that.
Man, no.
But it's just like I
get it.
It's awkward for me, sometimes, and people find it hard to believe because when I'm on stage, there's like no way you can be that guy.
Completely different. It's like Michael Jackson. Shy as hell outside of the stage.
And the same thing, Prince was, the same way, like on the stage, you're like, he's, he's lit up. And then off stage, just the quietest, most polite, man you could ever meet.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I have a lot in common with this guy.
Right. Yeah.
And it was just, I guess it's just hard for people that don't know and understand like artists and musicians like yourself and me. They kind of look at it like, musicians are egotistical, or they're stuck on themselves, or they're this and that. And a lot of it is, I think, misinterpreted the wrong way because we don't speak, because music is our outlet. And that's the only way some of us know how to, until we've learned how to be able to interact in the public setting. So a lot of times you'll speak to a musician that's great and amazing, but they don't speak back. It's not because they're arrogant,
right,
and they don't want to talk to you. It's because they don't know how to, honestly.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. I've seen it with a lot of different people, and I've had to fend for a lot of my friends that are that way. I'm like, nah, he's
especially
not.
the creative people. Yeah. Not just musicians, but just creative in general.
They're super creative. Like, they're weird. I'm like, no, man, a lot of these people, like, their outlet is artistry. Like, that's why artists get labeled as, weird, strange bunch of people, because, like, I mean, we are, you know.
That's true. I mean, I was never allowed to express myself at all as a kid in my own house.
Oh, wow.
And so that was like a thing that made me really an introvert, because I didn't know how to express myself. Because I wasn't allowed to. But yeah, man, it's the creative people and all that stuff. There's always a reason for everything,
Yeah, the arts are the outlets, for kids.
Yeah.
It started, really breaking my heart when they were taking it out of school and saying it wasn't needed, and then all we needed was, the basic needs, arithmetic, and. It's not to discredit all that other stuff, but it's like if we were to take away all that stuff and just have, the arts, I think the world would be a better place. But we do need
more peaceful.
It would, it allows people to express in so many different ways. Like we need doctors.
Yeah.
We need mathematicians. We need a lot of different people that can like figure out things like that. But we can't say we don't need music in school.
Yeah.
We can't say we don't need art. We don't need dance. That is an expression of people. And I know a lot of people that work in corporate jobs that still go and play on the weekends in their bands because that's their outlet.
Yeah.
When they go and do that, that's them blowing off their steam so they don't go into the job the next day and shoot somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the things that we need to allow people to be able to operate on a normal day-to-day basis. When you take that out, you get crazy things that happen in the world.
Yeah. Overload.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I love acting, because I'm an actor. So
okay, yeah.
And so acting for me was a game changer because I wasn't allowed to express myself. acting was that for me.
And now you have it.
And now every time I'm on stage, I'm fucking on it, man.
Yeah.
That's why I love the camera being under the, in front. Because I was always behind the camera. I'm an audio engineer, so working behind the mixing and shit like that.
Yeah,
but being in front, it's just that switch, man. Yeah. And then you have to be on top of it, or else you'll just crumble. And I definitely don't want to crumble.
No, no,
nobody wants to crumble.
No, we don't. But I mean, I love it's just the beauty of like the arts, dance and everything, and seeing a story being told through acting, through a dance, through a song, through a painting. I was watching Empire this season, and I loved how they took music, and he lost his memory, but he was regaining his memory, but it was coming back in a different way. It was coming back in art. And he was painting all these different colors with his hands, and he didn't know what was happening going on, but he was orchestrating in a different way. So he would basically look at the painting that he painted and play the music by looking at the painting. And to me, that was so genius. It made me want to start painting, because I did when I was younger, but I didn't think I was good enough, so I just stopped. But I still admire art and painting and like that,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll pick it up one day when you're retired. Although, it seems like, for musicians, for people who are creative, there's no such thing as retirement. It seems like, I don't know. I mean, for some people, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
But
I don't think there's retirement for musicians. What I always say is like, I want to retire at 45. I tell that joke to people, but I'm not going to retire at 45. It's just I want to be able to be set up to a place to where I want to do what I want to do musically, and not that I have to, and it's just
without any boundaries.
Yeah. I always say the saying, live to play, don't play to live. You're living, to play music, but you don't have to play and do every single job to just be able to live and make ends meet.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't want to be that musician that just I have to, do this show. I got to go and catch a red eye. It's because I want to catch a red eye to go to this next show, not that I have to.
Exactly.
I don't mind going and, day after day after day with no sleep, but I want to do it and not have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's why I'm picky about, I'm not too picky, but a lot of actors, they just go for anything. And I've gotten to a point where I've done so many commercials, I've done the industrials, I've done the independent films and stuff like that now I'm at a point where like I'm just going to be selective about what I audition for, which is pretty much just doing TV and film. But with the other stuff, it's like I don't need that. That's like I'm forced to do something that I don't really want to do.
Yeah.
So
it's so true.
Yeah, that's true. So let's get back into your little life for you. So after high school, what happened? You went to college.
Yeah.
You did music thing right there, right?
After college, I was doing music and traveling while I was in school, and actually I was doing it in high school too.
With like different bands or like a certain.
Yeah, it started off with me playing with other jazz artists.
Okay.
One guy I started off with, Marcus Johnson. He was a piano player.
Yeah.
And most piano players that are out front as the lead, they have a sax as an accompanist. So a buddy of mine named Marcus Mitchell needed me to fill in for him and sub for a gig. So I did.
Yeah.
And then I just became like a regular playing with them. And like it wasn't like much money, but back in the day, it was great to me.
Yeah.
You making $200 or $300 a gig, doing 2 or 3 gigs a week. Like as a college student, man, I feel like I was winning.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
So and that really helped me to learn and watch how to interact and how to perform. It was like my training ground.
Yeah. Especially playing at different locations, right?
Different locations, different artists, different temperament of people, how everybody's going to react to the music. So then I started expanding more on my own and want to do my own solo stuff. Man, and then...
when was that tipping point? Was it like during a show and you were like, I got to do my own stuff?
2005.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like I had started writing music like 2004, but then 2005 was like the time like, all right, I want to put out my own music. Because at that point it was like, oh, I want you to play on my stuff, I want you to play on my stuff. And I'm like, that's great. But I kept saying to myself, man, I got my own music I want to put out.
Yeah.
And, and it's like, I have my like when Michael Jackson was a part of Jackson 5.
Right.
He was always needing to do stuff, for the brothers, for the families. Like, but I have my own music. I want to put, my own sound out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how I felt with my music. So 2005, I put out my first album. And it was great, it was great for what it was. I put a lot of heart and passion in it.
Yeah. Were you nervous when the day it came out?
Yeah, because I knew it wasn't like It wasn't like, oh, this is a great album, and like it looked cheesy on the cover.
Uh-huh.
You know, the Sonics were decent, you know, but it was a lot of heart in it, and people felt it. They liked it. You know, it was a really, really, I think, passionate album.
Yeah.
And then I learned, okay, this is how you create an album. So my next album I did 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And that 2009 was actually a very, very strong pivotal point in my career.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I did this competition in Maryland called the Rising Star for Capitol Jazz Festival.
Yeah.
The winner got $5,000, and they got a chance to open up on the main stage on the last day of the festival.
Nice.
And that was like big for me. So I went up there, I played a song, I did, you know, everything I needed to, and I won.
Nice.
And like I was, you know, independent artist. I sold the most albums out of everybody that whole weekend. I think I sold like 400 CDs. Like I don't, you know,
Damn.
that was a lot. I mean, but you know,
Were you surprised by that?
I was like, man, this is. I had never made anywhere close to that amount of money ever in my life.
Yeah.
And I said,
How much you sell them for? Like $5 or $10?
No, they were selling them for like 15, 20.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was like a lot back then.
Yeah.
So by me winning that and getting that money, it allowed me to be able to fund my next project and get it out, you know,
awesome.
and redo it like the way that I want. And I was like, man, this is great. So I was learning the business, and I was learning a template for myself to how to put out music.
Yeah.
So I did that in 2009, and then
Now with the business portion of the music entertainment business, industry, did you find that difficult? Okay.
not for me,
No?
you know.
It became kind of easy because you love what you do, right? So obviously you knew the business portion is a big part of it.
Yeah, it was that blue ocean, you know, that for me, a place that I had never been.
Yeah.
And I knew it was needed for me to, I needed to know this in order to get to this next part. I can make the album, but if no one knows about it, then what do I do?
Exactly.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I need to learn about, you know, giving out, you know, free CDs and passing out albums and handbills and flyers and
Right.
letting people know who I am in cars and having a website and video.
Yeah. Just hustling it.
Yeah, and just like, and then there was like certain things I just kept learning about along the process, you know. But that 2009 year was the year that springboarded my whole, you know, career, because it introduced me into the jazz world. Like, wow, who is this guy that won this competition? Because then after that, I started getting invited to go to California to do shows and, you know, going to all these different places.
Wait, so in 2009, the same competition that you did in 2000? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about your music in 2005. But the competition was in 2009.
Yeah, it was in 2009.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so after that, man, everything just kind of took off, and people knew about me and learned about me and who I was.
Yeah.
And it was hard because, you know, in my genre, it's almost like if you're a black guy to play saxophone, you're expected to be good. So you're not really praised as much, you know, not to really take it racial, but I mean, it kind of is what it is. It's like, oh, he's black, he's supposed to sound good playing the saxophone.
Right.
You know, yeah, he's supposed to be able to play multiple instruments, because that's just,
It's like Asians and martial arts.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it kind of is like the whole thing. Like, people look at it like African Americans are going to be good at sports and music.
Right.
You know, so it's nothing to be, oh, you know, he plays, you know, 5 instruments, so what? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it doesn't really matter. But if
Yeah.
you take someone, you know, that's non-black and does that, then it becomes like, oh my gosh, you know, they're amazing. So it took a lot of me pushing and a lot of years to break through the barrier of, like, he's not just another black artist, you know, doing music. You know, and I think it took probably like right before when I got out on the road with Prince, like, oh man, you know, Marcus is, you know, we need to take more of a liking to him within my genre. But then Prince came and like snatched me from all that when it was like going good for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, I just broken through, and it's like, I'm gonna go tour Prince now. Y'all hold on one second.
Yeah.
So I turn and I come back. Where y'all go? It's like everybody's gone. Like, now I had to rebuild. It didn't take long though. It took about maybe like another year to get back into the face of people. But then, you know,
Now, you were Prince's musician?
Sax player, yeah.
Sax player? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Just want to make that clear.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Now,
It was a lot of he had a very massive horn section, but I took the lead in the horn section, and he gave me pretty much all the solos and a lot of the features. If you go on his last album that he released, I'm featured on there on 2 songs.
how'd you get hooked up on that?
Buddy of mine,
Prince was the first one, right?
yeah.
Okay.
First,
I guess, celebrity musician.
no, first celebrity musician I worked with was Anthony Hamilton, and then
Now, how'd you get hooked up with that one?
I was filling in for a buddy of mine, Adrian Crutchfield. He called me to sub on the gig.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And they ended up liking you and stuff?
yeah. I mean, and that was good. And I actually opened up. We actually opened up with Anthony for Prince.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was in.
So Prince got to see you then, as well.
I don't know.
He was probably backstage doing something.
Possibly. I don't know what it really was, honestly. But I just remember. Now I got called to go out on the road with Prince in 2012.
Yeah.
We opened up for Prince in 2011, and I just remember willing myself on that stage, seeing Prince and seeing all of that, and knowing that my purpose was to be up there, or to be more than where I am right now. I'm like, man, I'm going to be on that stage. And I remember just looking at that stage and seeing me up there and willing myself on that stage, and like a year later, I kid you not, a year later.
Yeah. I tell you, man, like if you pour your passion, it doesn't matter like how small or how big, people will recognize that, and then they'll pass the word on.
Yeah.
About how good you are, and you should get this guy. It seems like it was word of mouth.
It was a video I created that I had like an old manager like back in the day, not my current one, but I knew what I needed to do for myself, so I took my money instead of putting it in advertising. I put the money that I did. When I did a CD release concert, I filmed it. I took the money, put it into like editing this video, this highlight video, and I put it up on YouTube. I said, I don't know what it's gonna do, but I believe this is the ticket for me to make it. And in that one video, it got me the gig to play with Sheila E. It got me the gig, to play and tour with Prince. They said, Prince loved. I sent him your video. He loves everything that you do. Yeah. Because on this video, it highlighted what I do. Right. I'd play. I was a showman. I dance. I do all this stuff.
Yeah. Not just a saxophone player.
Not just a saxophone player. And like he loved that stuff.
Nice.
He was.
Oh yeah, I bet he did.
Man, he was like, man. I mean, like they told me like he used to watch like my videos like all the time. And it was just hard for me to believe. Yeah. But like he took a liking to me, and I'm just thankful. Like he never like really said things other than like one day I remember he said, you remind me of a lot of myself, on what I do in music. And like that was like the biggest thing,
That's
to
cool,
hear
man.
from Prince. And another thing when I met him, when I said, hey, how you doing, Prince? And he said, I'm Mark. He said, how you doing? I'm Prince. And I'm like, I know who you are. You know. And he was telling me that,
was he wearing purple?
No, I think he had on black that day.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
But he said he enjoyed my music. Yeah, and I don't know, that just took me back, man. I was like, wow, like Prince enjoys my music. Like you couldn't tell me anything else at that point. I knew that I had been doing all the things that I should have been doing. Right. I was listening to my heart, following my gut. But had I just listened to that voice of doubt saying, Marcus, you're making a mistake. You're going to ruin your career. Don't do this. Don't do that. I wouldn't have been there. I don't think I would have been here. I wouldn't be, happy with my life or music. Right. You got to follow your gut. You got to follow your dream, that yearning. And you got to not listen to voice of doubt, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Or anyone else for that matter. You just have to trust your gut. Yeah. And just go for it. Yeah, even if it's your parents, you know what I mean? Yeah. Saying something else different.
Yeah. And I'm so thankful I had parents that were very nurturing. My mom and my dad, family. Most people in my life were always very supportive. I had a couple here and there, people like, oh, you're not this, you're not that, you know.
Did you always dwell on that when people said that to you?
I didn't dwell on it, but it does take an effect on you. It does.
I use it as fire.
Yeah. I use it as fuel, myself. Yeah. But it's like, when people say it, it's like, why would you say that? And it gets you to thinking like, dang, am I not good enough? You start doubting yourself in a sense. Yeah, definitely. But then, you always pop back. Yeah. But it's just like, that's a distraction that takes you away from this and that. If you're in a relationship that someone says that, get out of it. They should be supportive.
Yeah, that's a big 100%.
One. Yeah. It's a very big one. Yeah. That's why I'm still single now.
Right.
Because it's hard.
Same here, man. Same here.
And I'm not trying to say like, any of my exes like haven't been supportive. Right. But it's very difficult, and I understand, but it's very difficult for her to be able to support, what you do, because I give a lot into, two things. My daughters, my career. Yeah. Everything else, hate to say it, everything else kind of, comes after that. Right. My two top priorities in life.
I mean, that kind of has to be it. I mean, because your career is you. Yeah. And if you're not happy, then
Yeah.
What's the point?
I mean, yeah.
You have to come first.
Yeah, but I want that other, that piece and component.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
that. But it's like if you come into my world right now, and I hate to say it, like everybody has their own world. This table is, the world of the table. Mm-hmm. You step off of it, you fall.
Right.
But this world is like my world. If you don't try to dwell and exist in this world, then it's like it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You
gotta have the right mindset. The same mindset.
Yeah. But one day, maybe my views will change. Maybe my girls will graduate from school, and I'll be okay. Maybe now I have this other component open.
Yeah.
I'm actually okay. Right now, being single. I'm 33.
Yeah.
It would be nice to be married.
Right.
But maybe I won't. Maybe I'll get married.
Do you get the pressure from your parents? When are you gonna bring me? Oh wait, no, you have daughters, so I can't.
Yeah. Well, they say, when are you gonna make an honest woman out of someone?
Yeah.
But I don't. I don't know what's. I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I mean, they ask me about stuff like that. They used to ask me about it, but not so much anymore because they see what my focus is.
Yeah.
And they see I really put a lot into my daughters.
Yeah. Honestly,
spending time with them.
Yeah. I mean, I think. I stopped looking. I stopped doing that. I just know that I'm just gonna keep doing me, and I just know that it'll happen whenever it does.
Yeah. That's
and I'll be better off that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah. So.
I think it's just. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
go for it.
No, I was just saying it's just. I think just the understanding of like people's and jobs and careers, and it's not even just in music. It's anyone that has to travel and do something. It could be film. It could be. Corporate world. Yeah. I know a lot of corporate people.
Matt's a stand-up.
Oh, yeah.
And so, traveling.
Yeah.
All of that. Yeah. You have to take that into consideration.
Yeah. Go and check out some, Dave Chappelle interviews or Chris Rock and see what they're talking about traveling as a, musician and an artist and the tolls it takes on people's lives, and stuff like that. And it's possible. It's doable. It's manageable. But, I guess you just got to find that right person that fits and understands. Yeah. And you gotta be compatible. Yeah. Compatibility is everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm learning to trust my gut more.
Mm-hmm.
Because I trust my gut with everything else, but I have to trust my gut when it comes to relationship as well. Yeah. And so that's one of the things that I'm really concentrating on now.
Yeah. You gotta listen to. People say I don't really go into like Illuminati stuff, but I listen to that third eye. Yeah. But it's like, that third eye, your gut, all of that's kind of like the same thing. Yeah. People name it and label it as different things, but it all, to me, is God. Because, God gives us that gut. People label it as whatever you want to call it, but they give us that intuition. Right. Say something doesn't feel right, or I don't feel like I need to be around this person or that person. Label it however you want. Listen to that third eye or your gut or your intuition, whatever you want to call it. Always listen to that. Right. Because that's what God gave us to be able to discern certain things. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's true. So, let's talk about, because you played with Prince. That first show you did with Prince, how was that? Was it like the most nervous that you've been or something?
It was nervous. I was nervous. It was magical.
Where was it? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Welcome to Chicago, 2012. Huh. And to me, the show actually went bad, but it was the sound. The sound was very bad.
Really? Why? Oh, what do you mean? Like the engineer just fucked everything up?
Yeah, he did. And Prince was notorious for hiring and firing the same sound guy in like 5 minutes. He go in there and say, "Oh, it's fired. Bring me someone else in."
He's like a James Brown kind of guy.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, actually, ain't no kind of. Yeah, and it was funny because I heard a story, like all the mixing boards that he has. So there are digital boards to where you can, press save and it'll recall everything if it gets lost. Well, Prince had like analog boards where you couldn't save everything; you had to do everything manual. EQ levels, all of that stuff. And then like one time, I think he had a digital board. This guy had it, and like Prince had said something that pissed him off, and then the guy had like locked the board and like left. Ooh. Yeah, so like they couldn't do anything, so they had to bring in like a whole new mixing board. Damn. And it like caused like all this mess. So then he was like, "I don't like digital boards. We're not going to do that. Nobody's going to control." Yeah. So he messed it up for everybody.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
All right, cool. So how long were you with Prince?
4 years.
4 years. Wow, that's cool.
Two very strong years. 1 year we did, like say maybe like 6 months. We did like recording like this jazz album and recording for like a lot of these other artists too. But then after that, it was just like kind of scarce and like here and there.
Yeah.
For like another year. And like early 2016 was the last time like I saw him prior to him passing. But yeah, it was like the first 2 years very strong, man. We did a lot of great things, man, and just working in Paisley Park, recording in there, and just being in that magic. Oh man, it was
There's something about a recording studio.
Yeah, and like we recorded to tape too.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh man, it's a lot of it. It kind of feels like a dream, and it's like I like that song "Roll, Roll Your Boat Gently Down the Stream." Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Like it kind of feels like that. Like my whole life feels like a dream. After it happens, all I have is up here.
Yeah.
After this moment passes, all I will have is just up here. And I just keep thinking about replaying back a lot of those moments of being in Paisley Park and working with him and sitting with him playing the guitar and teaching me parts. Like it's
a humbling experience.
It is. It's like, how did I get here? And it's like I don't want to get to the point to where I don't appreciate it. But then like there are moments like, yo, I deserve to be here. Like I worked hard to be here.
Yeah.
But like even if I wasn't here, I still would feel like I deserve to be here. But then like at the same time, I still remain like the person like I'm thankful for all these moments and opportunities that I get. And it doesn't do anything but like just assure me of like, all right, where I'm at, what I need, and what I should be doing in my life and career.
Right.
So there's like an extra boost of assurance when it comes to that stuff too.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Very cool.
Thanks.
All right, so then after Prince, sadly he passed away. What was the next step for you after that?
It was kind of it was a no. It already kind of started anyway.
Okay. Gotcha.
Me going and just doing more solo shows.
Right.
Yeah, that chapter of my life, like working with him, was coming to a close, cause I didn't plateau with him, but it was just like there was nowhere else for me like to go and do. Like we weren't. I didn't know if we were going to be releasing a jazz album or not. We've been sitting on it for like a year, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back and do my solo stuff. And I started working with Ceelo then too. Okay. And I had a little bit more flexibility to go and do my solo stuff and work with Ceelo. So it was kind of like,
how'd you get that one? Was that just word of mouth as well?
Yeah, I was with a guy that worked with Prince,
Okay.
And then worked with another artist, Liv Warfield.
Yeah.
And then he ended up calling me to come, work with Ceelo, and then that became ongoing.
Cool.
And that was really, really, really cool. We did this thing called the Love Train Tour. And that was, that was fun. That was great.
I hear Ceelo is really fun to work with. Like he's really humble and like really just loves everyone and wants everyone to like.
Oh, he wants everybody to have a good time, and be happy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, man. And so after that, Prince passed, I just already knew like, all right, this is. I hate that he passed, but like I gotta go full steam ahead, because to me after that there's nowhere else for me to go unless I want to go and work with somebody like the Dixie Chicks or something like that.
Yeah,
I need to go and try to be like a Prince and write music and put out music, like he wanted me to. He wanted all of us to be able to make our own music and put on our own music out. Nice. And that's how he found me, was in my solo artistry. That's why he supported me. That's why he got me to record a jazz album. And it's like now. It's like that's what what he was telling me. I respect what you do. Do that. Yeah.
You have my permission. Go.
Yes. I mean, honestly, like that's kind of like what it was, man. Yeah. A lot of people like, man, it's like, man, I would have stayed in there forever, and I'm like, well, that's cool, but like to me, that would just not be a smart move,
right?
Because you're limiting yourself if you want to stay with any one person. Like even my musicians now that work with me, if they want to stay with me forever and play, that's great. But I just see my field of like music, it's like it's a training ground, and it's like it's a springboard for them to go and be bigger and better. Yeah. With me, it's cool. We can work together for X amount of years. They'd be great, but I just think everybody needs to be pushed out into doing
exactly.
More stuff.
It's your dream. It's not their dream.
Exactly. If it's their dream to work with me forever, then great. But I just believe everybody that works with me eventually will not be working with me. It's going to cycle out through, but not in an unnatural way.
Right. Yeah, it'll happen organically. That's cool. Yeah. That's very cool. So you started working on your own stuff while working with Ceelo Green. Do you still work with Ceelo Green, or?
I do from time to time. It's the schedule that I have now is getting booked like 6 months to like a year in advance now. Okay. So now it's kind of interesting for me to try to like, hey, can you do these dates? I'm like, oh man, I'm already booked for May. It's like, yeah, really already. So you know, not to say they didn't understand before, but like now they know like, oh man, Mark is doing shows. Like he really doing shows.
He's picking up.
Yeah. And like he's always really respected like what I do, because like I think what he does is amazing. I see how he thinks in music. Yeah. And we've had a lot of conversations, and I've learned a good bit from him. You know, being on the tour bus, listening to him talk. You know, we'd be on the bus till 4 or 5 in the morning. You know,
having those deep conversations.
I love those conversations. Yeah, man. And like I'm over there and falling asleep. yeah, Lo. Yeah, man. That's right. You know, it's like it's so good. Yeah. And I try to stay up, you know, and then I end up falling asleep, and then we end up just like calling it quits. Yeah. You know, but like those are like some magical moments. Mm-hmm. I want to do one more of those. I want to do one more of those bus tours, man. You know, with him, and like
that'd be fun, man. Just seal the deal a little bit more, you know?
Yeah, because it was such
it's a bonding moment.
It was a very bonding moment. It was great. You know, I learned a lot. I'm still learning. Like I always feel like I can learn, you know, from people and situations.
Yeah, I never stop learning, dude. Mm-hmm. I always told myself, be a different person, grow every single month. Mm-hmm. I always told myself that. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just like a little bit, you know what I mean? It makes a complete difference.
Oh, yeah.
In the long run.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about your own stuff, man. Mm-hmm. So how is it compared? You released an album, right? After you worked with Ceelo Green? Or, you know.
Yeah, I got 10 albums to date now. I released.
So from your last album that you did, compared to your first album you did, what kind of differences do you see there? Is it more just like more technical?
No, not really. No? I mean, I always equate music to a parent and kids. So I have 10 albums. I have 10 kids, you know, and like each child I love. They always say, people say, "Oh man, which album? Like, which one do you recommend? Which one do you love the most?" Well, I love all my kids. Like, I can't pick one, right? You know, like, but like, what are you looking for? You know, I always kind of like I have to sell it in that sense, because people always want me to say pick the best one, and I said I can't pick the best one because I love them all. Yeah, you know.
I mean, like for me, like I when I created my own music and songs, and now I go back and listen to them, like it, you know, it was before I had technical training and all that stuff. So it's like, ooh, you know, like I love the skeleton of what I was doing. It was nice. I could see where I was going with it, but the overall sound of it needed to be worked on. Yeah. So it was those kind of things that I noticed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool, man. So what do you got going on now?
We're doing this Christmas tour right now. We have Greensboro tonight. We have Durham, 2 nights in Durham sold out. WU Cafe. Cool. Yeah, 7 and a 9 p.m. show, both sold out. Yeah. Sunday show, the 7 p.m. sold out, and the 5 p.m. I think only has a few tickets left, but it'll sell out as well. And then we have a show Wednesday at Word Overcomers Church, and they're bringing me in to be featured. Nice. And then we have Fayetteville and Goldsboro.
You're extremely busy in like the winter time, right? Like December.
Well, typically I'm not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I usually.
It seems like you would be, because like, you know, events and shit like that.
Yeah, I do like little events here and there, but this year I wanted to do like a tour to help support the album. Cool. That we have. Next year I probably won't do it as much as we did. I think we had like maybe like 12 shows throughout December that we're doing to promote the Christmas album, because we did Charlotte, we did 2 nights in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So we did 2 nights, 2 shows per night. Yeah, that was great. And now we got, Greensboro. We got Durham, 2 nights there.
How many band members do you have right now?
5.
5? Oh, okay. So what is it like?
My brother sings vocals sometimes within the band, and I have keyboard player, drummer, bass player, guitar player.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool, man. Nice and light. I was picturing like an orchestra or something like that.
Well, like we do have that set up, but I don't always have the budget for that setup.
Yeah. So, yeah. It gets expensive.
It does, man. I've had a 12-piece band at one point. We got video out where it's that whole 12-piece setup, like background dancers and everything.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of that stuff up on my Facebook. I haven't posted it to YouTube yet, because we have the concert that we just finished editing. We're going to release it in 2018, like in January. We're going to do it with my subscription fan club, anybody that signs up will be able to get that whole live concert for free. So
cool, man.
Yeah,
very cool. Yeah, my dad's he's always been in like Latin jazz bands.
Yeah.
And so I'm used to seeing like 12, 15 people on stage and stuff like that with horns, percussions, all that stuff.
Yeah, it can. I mean, I would love to. I want to, keep it comfortable so I can pay everybody comfortably too.
Yeah,
if I had that many people, everybody would be making $50.
Yeah, you don't want to thin yourself out.
Yeah, and like, man, people got to eat just like me, so I don't want to. I just want to make it to where, all right, I make it worth people's while to come. And we all work together and have fun.
Exactly. Very cool. Why don't you tell everyone where they could find you and your stuff?
All right. If you can, go to my website, marcusanderson.net. It has all my stuff on there. I have a coffee line called And Coffee, and you can find that on there. I'll tell you more about me. Also, go to my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's all the same handle, Manderson Sax. That's first initial, last name, followed by Sax. Manderson Sax. That's all. It's Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, anything else. Manderson Sax. That's me. Follow me on that, and check out my coffee. I got good coffee.
I gotta check out the coffee.
Yeah, man.
I'm always drinking coffee.
Yeah, man. I got some really good coffee. One of the roasters I use is here in Raleigh. Yeah, I use a local roaster. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
I gotta get a coffee machine first.